overwhelmingly, people who should have a will don't have one. Like the most common answer I'll hear from people, particularly people who are have not been married a long time, maybe have a kid or two. You're like, I don't have anything. Why would I do a will? If you got a kid or two or three or whatever, that's why you do a will. Absolutely. That is a moment in your life that you need a will. Because if you don't have a will, the state decides who raises your kids. The state decides. No. You want to make those decisions. Imagine the state decides that your nightmare sister or brother or nightmare brother-in-law or sister-in-law or some other family member who you're like, well, glad that family reunion's over. We don't have to see that person for fill in the blank time. And that's the person the state decides is going to raise your kids? You do that will for your kids. If you don't have a lot of assets, you can do one of those software wills. Willmaker is the most popular of all those, if you will. If you have a pretty simple financial situation, you just want to protect your spouse, or so often people are living with someone they're not married to, you want to protect that person. You want to have a will that says what you want to have happen. One thing I got to tell you though, beneficiary designations on bank accounts, insurance policies, brokerage accounts, all that, they are, those beneficiary designations you do, they are superior to what's in a will. Most common situation with that, somebody gets divorced. And they forget. They didn't make their new significant other or their kids or their new spouse the beneficiary, and you pass away, and the stuff goes to who? The ex-spouse that you would put as the beneficiary designation. This is stuff to pay attention to. On the other hand, you have extensive assets, or you have a complicated family situation, blended family, anything like that. You own a business. You need a lawyer to do a will, and not just any old lawyer, a lawyer who what he or she does is their specialty of law, wills, estates, and trusts. And depending on how complicated your situation is, you may need something very simple that's pretty inexpensive, or you may need something that is pretty complicated and must be nurtured, managed over time. At the very least, every significant birthday, just use a significant birthday so you remember, because otherwise people don't remember that they did that will long ago and lots of things have happened. New baby's born or something like that, something that's a milestone in your life. You got married, you got divorced, something like that. You want to check that will and see if it needs updating. At the least, every 5 years. So when you turn 35, when you turn 40, when you turn 45, and on like that, that's when that birthday is when you get that will out and see, do you need to make changes? You want to do this because the loved ones you have will be grieving enough over the loss of you. You don't want to leave a mess behind. Do this right.